Hi, I'm Matt Plumb. We're here at the Oven, Nike Golf's research and development facility down here in Fort Worth, Texas. Spent the day today working with some of our tour players and having them in here, kind of fine-tuning some equipment for Colonial this week, and then hosting a group of some media people, kind of show them what we do here. Probably the biggest difference that people will see or notice if they get the chance to come here and get fit is, compared to what they would see at a retail environment, they're going to get fit without the use of lie tape, lie boards, probably a lot less of a it's more of a low-tech type of fitting than they would expect. Not a bunch of bells and whistles. For us, fitting is the golf club working its way through the dirt and the ball flight that the result of it is. Because essentially at the end of the day, the way that we play this game is off of grass and getting the ball up in the air, not off of a mat, not off of a lie board. So we want to fit somebody in the environment where they're going to play the game. We use kind of the evaluation of the divots in terms of to look at the lie and the length of a person's golf clubs, and then, like I said, the ball flight and the sound that club makes. We're talking about kind of the way that these golf clubs work their way through the ground, both for an amateur and then also a tour player. And the things that we're often going to look at in terms of the divots is the way that golf club enters the turf and exits the turf, the depth of that divot, the sound it's making like we talked about, and kind of the shape of that end result. A lot of people don't think about it this way, but the divot is actually the result of that golf shot, because that divot doesn't start until where you've struck the golf ball, as long as we haven't hit it fat. But if you look at the sole dynamics of the products across our range, our blade has what we call a V sole on it, where, and again, across this whole this whole range of products, these golf clubs measured bounce are going to have about the same number. So just measured bounce, they're going to be pretty consistent all the way through the range of products. But we start talking about something we call effective bounce, and where that really is going to play into is where we talk about the sole widths here, especially in the meat of this golf club. If you look at the blade where we have this V sole, it tends to get a little more narrow, especially in towards the heel. You look at the split cavity, and it's got what we call a four-way sole, where it keeps the width and integrity in the middle of this sole. So it's going to be a little bit wider in this portion of the sole. Therefore, it's going to play like it has more bounce. But again, measured, these are all going to have the same bounce. And you look at our VR full cavity, and again, a little more sole width. So it's going to play like it's got a little more effective bounce. And then you get into one of our more game improvements in the Mach Speed iron, and again, a whole bunch more sole width. So each one of these, this club is going to have a harder time exiting the turf because of the sole width. It's going to have less effective bounce, so it's going to have a tendency to get in the turf and stay in the turf. So for somebody who has a tendency to get a little bit steep, this is not going to be a real good sole for them. So we'd probably recommend something more like a split cavity, especially for a better. In terms of dialing in a person's equipment, it's unbelievably important. Really, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is make your misses better. So we're trying to set you up to have success a higher percent of the time. And when you don't make a perfect golf swing, have that miss be as good as we can. What we're trying to do is fit you throughout your bag for better equipment. So we want to find you a better golf club to go 100 yards and a better golf club to go 115 yards and get you set up across the board, regardless of what that golf club says on the bottom, and a little bit regardless of what that golf club looks like, whether it's a hybrid or whether it's an iron. We want to set you up with a set of golf clubs where you have a functional golf club for each distance on your in your golf game. But I wouldn't classify it as ball fitting in addition to. Ball fitting is an intricate part in what we're doing as a whole bag fitting. So you're going to need to engineer a golf ball and set up a golf ball to fit and work with your equipment. Now that golf ball is going to vary based on what's important to the individual player, and you see that all the way up to the tour level. With any type of golf ball, there's going to be some sort of give and take. Our goal is to make sure that that range of give and take in terms of what the aspects of the golf ball are isn't very big. But you're going to need to figure out what's important to you. Is short game and short game ability to hit shots that spin and the ability to get up and down from tough places important to you? Or is hitting an extra 10 or 15 yards important to you? And that's the decision that any golfer really needs to make, is what's my game, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, and how does my equipment need to fit into what that's going to do, and how can it help me overcome my weaknesses to have them be more strengths. We see, in a calendar year, we see about 850 people through this facility. Now that's not to say everybody that comes through is going to go through a full bag fitting. We kind of classify what people are coming in to do, whether they're coming in to solve a problem investigate the things that Nike Golf has to offer, or go through a full bag fitting or an overhaul of their equipment. A great example of that, we had a player that plays on the European Tour for us, James Morrison. He came to the facility. There was a couple weeks off over in Europe, and came to visit us in the facility. He'd just come off of the best year of his career on the Challenge Tour, earned a spot on the European Tour, and showed up at the Oven. We weren't really expecting to do a whole lot with his equipment. We changed 14 golf clubs in his bag and changed his golf ball. His first week out on the European Tour, he shot 63 and finished second. And 2 weeks later, he got his first ever win on the European Tour. So it's fun to have those successes with some of the players, but that's a very rare circumstance where we're going to bring a player in and overhaul their entire golf bag. Probably the million-dollar question with club fitting. It's kind of the chicken or the egg. Do I get fit first and then get my lessons, or do I get my lessons and then get fit first? I think it's going to depend on your level of commitment to the game, and you're not going to know that until you get out there and play. We've got some great sets of golf clubs for kind of the beginning golfer, or a person who's kind of dipping their toe in the water to figure out whether they really want to get involved with this. You go out and get a slingshot set of golf clubs that's set up and going to be a good chance for you to go out and have some fun. At the end of the day, though, I wouldn't go put on a suit that Michael Jordan would wear. It wouldn't fit me properly. So I'm going to need to go out and get me equipment that's going to give me a chance to succeed. So go ahead and find yourself a set of golf clubs that is going to allow you to succeed. And I think the best way to do that is to get custom fit. So once you've made the decision that you're going to make an investment in golf clubs, there's absolutely no reason not to go get custom fit. And at the end of the day, if your golf swing changes, if things in your swing change, you can always get your golf clubs adjusted. The other thing to think about is, with your level of commitment to the game, be realistic about yourself. Are you going to go out and spend time hitting balls, practicing, getting lessons, making changes in your golf swing? Or do you want a set of golf clubs to go out there and have fun and kind of work with what you've got? We talk about it all the time when we do have the occasional amateur in here. Are we going to put a Band-Aid on something that's going to allow you to kind of make a compensation based on your equipment because of a swing flaw? Or are you willing to invest the time in making the changes in your golf swing? And would you rather have equipment that's going to reward you when you make a good golf swing? And there's nothing wrong with either way, but you need to be realistic about yourself, about your goals, and your ability to make a commitment to this game. No reason nowadays to not get custom fit. You can find a facility where you pay a fitting fee, but that fee goes back against the set of the golf clubs. There'd be no reason to not go out and get your golf clubs specifically designed and engineered for you.